This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, it is March 1st, Wednesday, March 1st, 8:30 p.m. And we have Dr. Joel Wallach here with us again to grace us with some knowledge and information. And if you don't know him, well, you're in for a big surprise because we've got him right here tonight, every Wednesday. Dr. Wallach, take it away.
Thank you, Pam, and thank you, everybody. Welcome. And today I want to talk about the medical industry's famous nutrient. It's called cholesterol. 100 years ago, they made a huge mistake, and they said cholesterol was the cause of plaque in the arteries. Not true. Cholesterol is an essential nutrient. It makes up 25% of the brain weight, 25% of your spinal cord weight. It's called myelin. It's the white matter of the brain. It's the insulation material in the brain. And when you're deficient in, also it makes up 95% of the weight of testosterone and 95% of the weight of estrogen. So you don't want to be cholesterol deficient because there ain't nobody home when you're cholesterol deficient, right? And so you want to make sure that you know Alzheimer's disease is a cholesterol deficiency. It came in 1910, 10 years after they said that cholesterol is the cause of plaque in your arteries. And everybody started avoiding cholesterol and avoiding eggs and all that kind of stuff. And suddenly now we had Alzheimer's disease in 1910. It's a brand new disease nobody ever seen before because it's demyelinization. The white matter went away. MS, multiple sclerosis, is sort of a junior form of Alzheimer's disease. Let's see here. Guillain-Barré syndrome is MS of your spinal cord because 25% of your spinal cord is cholesterol, 25% of your brain is cholesterol. And then Parkinson's disease is MS, multiple sclerosis with tremors. And then there's a new one out, okay, FTD, frontal temporal dementia. It's kind of like sort of a narrow band of Alzheimer's disease, very specific loss of brain function in the front of the brain, the temporal parts of the brain, and it's a dementia just like Alzheimer's disease, but it's very specific. And one of the more famous people just had to retire a month or so ago because he got it. Okay, and we're talking about Bruce Willis from the Die Hard movie series, you know, the detectives kind of guy. This guy can't remember his name, where he lives, can't remember anything. He's only 67 years old. And I guarantee you, he was taking statin drugs. I guarantee you, he was taking other drugs to lower cholesterol. I guarantee you, he was avoiding cholesterol so he didn't get a heart attack because the doctor said, you know, you're in trouble because you may have some issues going on with your heart here. Give up cholesterol. Here's some statin drug prescriptions and all this kind of stuff. And he paid the price. Okay, we can bring him back if his wife or somebody will let us work with him. We can bring him back. He can stay at home. We'll do this all remotely, as you know I am doing right now with all this stuff going on with the virus. Okay, and then of course, let's see here, demyelinization, which is where the white matter of the brain goes away. Because people are taking statin drugs and avoiding cholesterol and all this kind of stuff. And you can see very clearly when you get an MRI, magnetic resonance imagery, it actually kind of takes a picture of inside your skull and you get to see what the brain looks like. It's all shriveled up like a prune, okay, when you have demyelinization. And if you just take an x-ray of the skull, you just see a black hole. You don't see the brain itself, you just see a black hole, okay? But when you do MRI, you get to actually see the brain. And so everybody, especially if you've been following the doctor's directions on avoiding cholesterol and this and the other, get an MRI. Okay, insurance will pay for it, especially if you have any symptoms of memory problems, dizziness, ringing in your ears, and loss of your vocal cords are changing, and your voice changes, and you can't swallow well, and you're losing your sense of smell, and your heart is irregularly beating. It's called AFib. It's not a heart problem. It's actually your skull squeezing your 10th cranial nerve causing that. And we have two books, you know, I want you to get, one of which is the newest one. It's only been out 2 weeks. Okay, The Wallach Revolution. This is the second one. Okay, the first one, this is the second printing. The first one came out, I don't know, about maybe 3 years ago or something like that. It was a committee of doctors and lawyers and so forth, and they were very enthralled with some of the stuff I was doing, reversing diseases that were supposed to be genetic and autoimmune and stuff like that. And they never named themselves, they just said the committee, okay? And so it's kind of interesting that they did that. And so this issue, okay, this is the second issue, okay, which has a CD that goes along with it. And so we actually did some really great stuff. Well, actually, the CD is in the book. It's all in your head. Okay, there'll be a CD coming out here pretty quickly for this one. Okay, the Wallach Revolution, and it actually goes through 75 years of trail marking of all the diseases that I've gotten rid of and improved over 75 years just with nutrition. They're supposed to be genetic and autoimmune. Okay, and of course, we're talking about Pat Boone, we're talking about Danny Glover, we're talking about, let's see, Andy Young, Theo Ratliff, people like Martin Luther King III, Evander Holyfield, and many more are telling their stories in here. And some of them were telling their stories, but in many of them, they're telling their own stories and they're writing chapters. And Pat Boone wrote the foreword to the book because he had such great experience with himself and his families doing what we said. Okay, he couldn't resist it. He said, hey, I want to participate. So he said, well, how about writing the foreword to the book? So we sent him a copy of the original book. He kind of read it and everything and wrote a foreword for the second edition, which is this one. Okay. And so we're very, very proud of that. And then we have the book, It's All in Your Head. Goes into 37 different diseases you can get when you have osteoporosis of the skull. And doctors will send you to their classmates who specialize in dentistry and loss of hearing, balance problems, and so forth, memory problems. And really, this is a normal skull on page 6, Roman numeral 6 in the front of the book. It's all in your head, okay? There's 37 different diseases. The normal skull is a 1/4 inch thick. The skull from somebody with osteoporosis of the skull is 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick. It squeezes the 12 pairs of cranial nerves as they're going through the tunnels through the skull to get out and do their thing. And then the spinal cord comes out of the back of the skull, okay? And it gets squeezed. It forms in the brain and it comes out of the back of the skull. It's getting squeezed here. You have all these diseases from the neck down. There's 17 of those 37 diseases are from the neck down, okay? And it's one of those things where they do surgery and they do drugs and they do all this stuff when really all you have to do is get rid of the bad foods so you can maximize absorption. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, brown rye oats, no buckwheat with the phagopyrines, absolutely no sugar, no carbonated drinks. The diet ones need to go, as well as the carbonated water, because carbonation neutralizes stomach acids, so you cannot absorb minerals or digest food. So it's very important to know all these things. And of course, this is where you find it, okay? In the second edition of the Wallach Revolution, and also It's All in Your Head. We have so many, literally, it's got to be by now thousands of people who have improved their health and gotten back into the, which is the end of the path of life by doing what we're saying in those 2 books. And of course, this is all proven in the book, Hell's Kitchen, because we were getting our minerals for thousands and thousands and thousands, there's more than 3,000 years by using wood ashes and coal ashes from our fires in our gardens, in our food, because they're 95% minerals, 90% minerals, and 2 or 3% carbon. And we went to electricity at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, in New York City. Thomas Edison pulled the switch for the first commercial electric drain plant. No more wood ashes, no more coal ashes, and also they put up dams for hydroelectric power, stopped all the flooding. Everybody was extremely happy. Oh, but we had a problem here because the bottom land all went away. Bottom land would get flooded every spring, right? It would get flooded. And when it would flood, the water would recede and leave all the silt that the floodwaters had brought down from the hills. And farmers would plow that back in and replace all the minerals that the crops had taken out the previous year. Well, once they came out with the dams for hydroelectric power, the bottom land all went away. And that's why we're having more and more and more and more diseases, because they're all nutritional deficient diseases caused by the advent of electricity. Electricity has killed more people than all the wars we participated in the history of human beings. Now, electricity has been a boon. It's been a wonderful thing for industry. It's been a wonderful thing for manufacturing. But for human health, okay, because it took away our source of nutritional minerals. And doctors say, oh, just eat well, you get everything you need. Plants only make vitamins and amino acids and fatty acids. Plants do not make minerals. Nutritional minerals, of which there are 60, okay, which there are 60. The 60 nutritional minerals, okay, do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like gold and silver. So it's a throw of the dice how many minerals you're getting, depending on where your food was grown. A carrot is not a carrot, is not a carrot, is not a carrot. A carrot is what it is based on where it grew. Same way with tomatoes and beans and squash and pumpkins and corn, tomatoes, and anything grown in the soil. Okay, it's a throw of the dice whether you're getting minerals or not. So you have to supplement. It's the only way we can guarantee. Do you put dirt from Texas in your car because you believe there's bound to be some oil in it? No, you put oil in your car. You're treating your car better than you're treating yourself. And so get on this, get with somebody who's already in the Youngevity program. If you're not already in there, get involved. If nothing else, just become a customer, official customer, get wholesale prices. And if you become one of our associates, one of our business builders, guess what? You get enormous tax deductions. You run your business out of your home, you get tax deductions for what percentage of your floor space you're using. The same percentage goes against your utility bills, your insurance, okay? And people come to clean your house, percentage of that's deductible. It's like crazy. Mow your lawn, tax deductible, your car, tax deductible. Why would you not want to have a home-based business, get all those benefits? Okay, so with all that said, I'm going to turn this over to Pam and Dave now. And I'm just so excited. They've been so great over the years. They're just getting better and better and better and participating and bringing in an army of people that need help. And so I cannot tell you how much we love and respect them. And so Dave and Pam, over to you.
Okay, come on, tell us more. Tell us more. You mean you can't stop? We have a question here from Laura. Please, Laura, unmute. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. We appreciate you.
Yes,
All
Laura.
right. All right. Hi, Doc. Hi. Okay, so I have a question for you. I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet
Okay.
to give other people a chance as well. Two questions from two different people. 40-year-old female, she's about 43, with a high blood pressure issue. It's 100/94. Pulse races in the night. Her doctor said her heart is stiff. She has taken 25 milligrams of metoprolol at bedtime, and her doctor wants to put her on Lozotam in addition to metoprolol. What have you got to say about that?
Okay, you say her heart races at night when she lays down?
Yep.
Does she ever complain about ringing in her ears?
I can ask her. I'll have to ask
Yeah.
her.
Okay, and do you know if she has any dizziness or vertigo or balance problems?
I'm gonna have to ask her.
You know how many times she wakes up at night to urinate? Once, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times?
Yeah, she does get up a lot. She recently found out that she recently tried a potassium supplement that actually helped her. She said somehow it helped her reduce her trips, but she still does get up at night.
Okay, so, well, here's the deal. I know it's not a prostate problem because she's a girl.
Yeah.
Okay, now, if she was a boy, the doctor would say, oh, we got to do a biopsy to see if you have prostate cancer. Okay, well, what happens is when you have osteoporosis of the skull, and I need to ask if she has a voice change, does she have trouble swallowing?
Okay.
That's that one too.
I'll write it down.
Okay, so at any rate, yeah, I guarantee you she's got osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing her 10th cranial nerve, the vagus nerve, which causes tachycardia, which is a fast racing heartbeat, also an irregular heartbeat. Okay, which okay.
Yep.
An irregular heartbeat. Let's see here. Also, that's a slow heart rate, bradycardia, and AFib, atrial fibrillation, is the irregular heartbeat. These are all caused by the skull squeezing the 10th cranial nerve. There's nothing wrong with the heart. Okay, so and she weighs 140 pounds.
She is, no,
40 years
actually,
old?
she's about 43 years old, but she weighs around 200 some pounds. She's very, she's very overweight.
Yeah, okay. And so this happens when people are minerally deficient. They develop a behavior called pica. In horses, it's called cribbing. In babies, it's called cribbing because they chew on the rail on their crib. In horses,
Yeah.
they chew the fence and the corral top rail and so forth. This is caused by mineral deficiencies, that behavior. And so this is why people become obese. They become obese because they'll eat 5, 6, 8, 10 meals a day because they're hungry all the time, because they're missing minerals. Their body's telling them to look for minerals. They don't know that. They're just eating, trying to satisfy that hunger. Okay. And so she's got to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats with nitrates and nitrates in them, hot dogs, a hamburger that's made, in the store, not at home, of course, but you want to also get rid of bacon and ham, bologna, salami, pastrami, pepperoni, jerky, corned beef, spam, all that's got to go. And then no carbonated drinks, even the diet ones got to go. And also carbonated water's got to go because they neutralize stomach acid, so you cannot absorb minerals or digest food. Also got to get rid of sugar. And she'll, I also want her to have 1 meal a day or keto shake. She will lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day, or keto shake. Okay, it's a meal replacer. It's not to be added to a meal. It doesn't have to be the same meal every day. She can move it around based on her schedule. But 1 keto shake a day, it comes in chocolate and strawberry. And again, doesn't have to be the same meal every day. It's a meal replacer. It's not to add to a meal. And she will lose a half a pound to 2 meals a day. Okay, she will lose a half a pound, and it's just like crazy. Okay.
Okay. What about, obviously, she's taking these medications.
Well,
I
okay,
can't.
here's what she needs to do. She can be on the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, right?
Yeah.
2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs, 1 full dose of everything twice a day. She needs the MSM, 3 of those at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's 2 bottles a month. She needs the collagen peptides, 2 canisters a month. So you can take a scoop at breakfast, scoop at dinner in their drinks. And don't forget the keto shake. And it's one of those things where all this stuff goes away. And so she needs to call for an appointment with the doctor, say, I don't think I need this medication anymore. Maybe you just want to reduce the amount. Don't cold turkey off the high blood pressure medication, but as the blood pressure drops, you can slowly reduce the medication based on the numbers. We get people who haven't urinated in 10 years. They're on dialysis 6 days a week. We put them on this program. Okay, with the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, you got to take 3 of those twice a day. Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, along with everything else, and they will help support a healthy heartbeat, healthy heart rate. Okay, and high blood pressure. It'll start coming normal, and you slowly reduce your medication based on the numbers. It's like crazy. And so in 2 weeks' time, they drop their let's see here. Let's see here. They're doing dialysis. They drop their dialysis from 6 days a week down to 3 days a week. And then in 2 more weeks, they totally drop all the dialysis because everything's normal. So after 10 years of not urinating, everything's working. Okay, because the nutrients was what was missing.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, so that answers that. Thank you for that. And another simpler question. I have another customer who is now on the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, MSM, several other products as you had recommended. She's taken Zerafem. She's not taking many of the Zerafem because she only has 1 bottle. So she's using 2 a day. However, she got a very, very heavy period. She's a 53-year-old woman, but she got such strong cramping that she ended up at the ER, and wanted to know if she wants to know if Zerafem could have something to do with that. That's all. Is that possible?
We've been using Zerafem, to deal with all kinds of issues for ladies. I don't know, for many years. I don't know, 15 years, something like that. Never had anybody say that. Okay, so
Okay.
I'm assuming it's got to be something else. So she ate something that caused her to have that bleeding. Okay, and it could be something that actually interfered with her ability, like her bone marrow, maybe interfered with the bone marrow and there was no platelets. Okay. And so we need a little more information. So you might ask her other symptoms she had, what she was eating. Okay. Because we've never had that happen. We've had
Okay.
thousands and thousands of women use the Xerafem.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, she wasn't able to come on the call tonight. Otherwise, I would think it makes more sense for her, obviously, to ask the question to you, so you can ask
Okay,
her
great. Yeah, I can answer some questions.
for
Yeah.
more information. Yeah, maybe next week I can get her on it.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, thank you. That's all I need.
Okay. Thank you, Laura.
Sure. Back to you, Pam.
That's great information. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. Does anybody else have any questions? Y'all know how to unmute. And we'll just, we get 1/2 hour here with Dr. Wallach. So
Hi, I do. Hi, Doc.
we hear you loud.
Have you been following the train derailment in Ohio?
Loosely. Okay. I know that, they're all talking about pollution, kind of thing. Okay. And so we have
Yep.
something for pollution. Okay. It's called herbal rainforest. You take a 1/2 ounce twice a day if you weigh 100 pounds. If you weigh 150 to 200 pounds, take an ounce twice a day. The herbal rainforest. It's a great detoxifier of toxins. And so if you're in any of these places where this is going on, you want to get the herbal rainforest to take with all your other stuff. This is not a replacement for the healthy brain and heart pack and the healthy bone and joint pack and the healthy blood sugar pack and so forth, right? This is something that deals with pollutants. Okay. And if you're in one of these train derailment areas, you definitely want to be get a hair analysis done to see if you got any toxic metals in you, and get, also add the herbal rainforest to your regimen.
Very good. So I know that the plant-derived minerals are a great chelator of heavy metals and toxins as well. And I know there's 600 milligrams of plant-derived minerals in each ounce of that herbal rainforest. What about the blooming minerals in the soil where the toxic spill was there in Ohio?
I wouldn't put it in the soil. I would have them take
Okay.
it. The blooming minerals is okay, but not, not our liquid minerals, but the blooming minerals are fertilizer.
I meant the blooming minerals.
Yeah, the blooming minerals are fine, because it's a fertilizer, goes in the soil.
And that would mitigate the pollutants in the soil, you think?
I would not bet on that because we haven't done any studies to see if it would mitigate pollution.
Okay. All right.
But it's a good question. I'll check that out.
Yeah. All right. Do that.
I'll try and have information on that by next week.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Good question.
Thank you.
Well, I can tell you a little story about, we have some Amish family out in our area, and they put some of the blooming minerals on their field, and there was a dry spot, just patchy. And he got 4 cuttings this last year off of his, that one area. And by the end of that 4th cutting, and I went and I took some pictures, you couldn't even see where that patch was at.
Wow.
It was so dark and just luscious. It was a dark green color. It really, and so what they did was they took them 4 cuttings and they're putting them into feed for a cow. And so they're going to see that production of the cow.
Okay, so they put a little fence around or markers around there so they know what's coming from that area, and then they're going to give that to 1 cow or 2 cows, whatever it is, and see if there's a difference in the production.
Yeah, they have 1 cow that they're going to feed.
Milk cow.
I understand.
Yep.
Yeah, it's easier to get milk from a milk cow than it is from a beef cow.
2 heads are better than
Very
1. 4 stomachs make a 6-pack, right? With 2 heads. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Thank you, Dr. Wallach. I remember the story you told us about. Can you just tell us a story about one of the best stories you have with some of the animals?
Oh my gosh.
What's your favorite?
That's kind of hard to say. I do know that one of the first things when I came back from Africa working on the White Rhino Conservation Project, Marlon Perkins gave me his list of things he wanted me to do before I started on that big $25 million project, which is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. Very proud of that. And he gave me the list. And the first thing on the list was every species of bear in every country in the world were getting liver cancer in their 20s. Every species in every zoo in every country in the world. So that told me right away that there had to be some common denominator between all those bears because they're all getting liver cancer. And it turns out what was happening, all the zoos would sell little bags, those little Ziploc bags of peanuts to the visitors coming in, and the visitors buy them, and they throw the peanuts to the bears. The bears learned they could stand on their hind legs and wave their paws, and people would throw the peanuts at them. And they made enough money by selling the peanuts that they could pay their zookeepers and they could buy food for the animals and everything. But what they didn't bank on was that peanuts grow in the ground. All the other nuts, walnuts and almonds and things like that grow on trees, but peanuts grow in the ground. Well, it turns out the peanuts are very commonly infested with a fungus called Aspergillus flavus, which produces a toxin called aflatoxin, which causes liver cancer. And all the liver cancer in the bears was being caused because people are throwing these peanuts at them. So when they switched over, I published that in the International Zoo Yearbook. It was like year 1968, I think it was. I published that article on the liver cancer in the bears all over the world. And we said you got to use dry dog food instead of peanuts to throw to the bears in the little bags, little dry dog food clusters. And within 90 days, the new liver cancer cases just stopped. And it was published in the International Zoo Yearbook. And so I'm very, very proud of that.
Yes, heck yes. How did you say it's Aspergillus?
Flavus, Flavis, and aflatoxin, okay, is the actual toxin that the fungus produces that produces liver cancer. And so this is why when people, they get liver cancer, first thing the doctor asks them, you drink alcohol? Oh yeah, well, every Friday night, we get payday, we run out to the bar and we're, everybody's out there drinking beer for a couple of hours before we go home and whatnot. So, and that's all they said. Well, I asked him, I said, okay, what do you eat when you're drinking all that beer? Well, they give us free peanuts. That's why I go to a particular bar, because they give us all these peanuts. They said, uh-oh. They're getting the aflatoxin in the peanuts causing the liver cancer. It wasn't the alcohol from the beer that caused the liver cancer. Okay, because we get lots of people drinking wine and whiskey, and they don't get liver cancer because it's coming from the peanuts that they were eating going along with the beer that had the aflatoxin in it that caused the liver cancer. Got it?
Fantastic point. I love it. Okay, so to wrap up this call, you only have 3 minutes to tell us a story about Dr. Milan when she came over and they traded her skills for 3 other doctors. Tell the story when she came out of the taxi and she was dropped off.
Okay, well, let me talk to her and get all the details of that, and I'll tell that one to you next week.
Oh,
Okay. How
I
about the
apologize.
bottlenose dolphins?
I want to get it right. It's been a long time since I've talked about that story, so let me get that story. But yeah, I kind of remember, but I want to do it accurately and quite good for her. Okay.
how about when you were sitting in the library and she pushed the book across and she pointed and she asked you to, what is this word? And she didn't know exactly. And you tell that story. So cute how you two kind of met in the library studying.
Okay, and let me talk to her again.
Okay.
I'm gonna get it right. I'll do something stupid and she'll give me a karate chop.
We don't want that.
That's great.
How about the bottlenose dolphins, Doc?
Okay, well, again, the bottlenose dolphins, they had problems, of course. They're eating fish, okay, that had enzymes in it that would destroy vitamin B1. They were getting all of these thiamine deficiency diseases, okay, liver problems, lung problems, brain problems. They couldn't have memory, and they're really in dire straits with their liver and kidney problems and heart problems congestive heart failure. And that's where we came up with de-stress capsules for them because, you know, I examined and said, well, this is easy. This is congestive heart failure. It's just a simple nutritional deficiency. We came up with de-stress for them and it works so well for them. We made it a product for our Youngevity. It's called de-stress. When you get somebody with any kind of heart disease, you add de-stress to their program. You know, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack and de-stress and MSM and all the other stuff, but de-stress, any heart issue, but especially if they're diagnosed with congestive heart failure, de-stress, 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 because it's a simple nutritional deficiency disease. It's not genetic, it's not autoimmune.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
That
I
is
learned
awesome
that one.
information.
The bottlenose dolphins taught me that one.
Ah,
We appreciate you, Dr. Wallach. Okay, everybody, we're done for the night. Unless Dr. Wallach, can you stay over?
Can I stay over?
Yeah.
We have an extra bedroom?
we do.
Yeah, I apologize. I do have to run, but I'll look up those things with Milan and make sure that I have it right for next week. Okay.
Excellent. Thanks, Doc. Love
Okay.
you.
Love you guys. Love you guys. Thank you so much for doing such a great job. You are family, that's for sure. God bless.
God bless
Thank
you.
you, Doc.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, doctor.
Good night,
See you next
everybody.
week.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. See you next week.